My wife said it's just a month with her ex to help him recover. She came back a stranger, then I'm Ethan, 38, construction contractor in northern Colorado. Been married to Mara for 6 years. She used to be a nurse, but quit after her inheritance came through from her aunt. Not rich, but comfortable. A little house in Loveland, a dog named Jasper, and what I thought was a quiet, solid marriage. That was until she dropped that sentence at the breakfast table like it was no big deal. It's just a month, Ethan. Dave's recovering from his surgery and has no one. I have to help. We have history. Dave, the ex before me, high school sweetheart turned alcoholic mess turned rehab success story, allegedly. The same guy she said once sucked the life out of her. The same guy she blocked on Facebook for years. But now she was going to live with him for a month in Denver? You're not his nurse, Mara. No, but I'm his friend. He doesn't have anyone else. I wish I'd pushed harder. But she already had her bag half packed, and this faraway look in her eyes like she'd made peace with it long ago. So she left. I didn't stop her. The first week was weird. She called every other night. Short, surface-level conversations. The second week, the calls slowed. The third week, her texts came back with one-liners like, tired. Talk tomorrow. By the fourth, nothing. She returned exactly on the 30th day. But something in her was off. Her eyes didn't settle when she spoke to me. Her hands moved differently. She walked in like a guest. And she hugged Jasper longer than she hugged me. I asked her if she still loved me. She said, of course I do. But it came out like a placeholder, like something she thought she should say. That night, I watched her sleep on her side, her phone clutched under her pillow. I knew, but I needed more than gut feeling. So I did something I never thought I would. I broke into her email. It was there, plain as day. She didn't even delete them. Weeks of back and forth between her and Dave. Pictures, messages, plans to see what the future holds and rebuild what was lost. One line stuck with me. Ethan is solid, but I miss being alive. I sat in the dark, rereading that one sentence for over an hour. That night, I didn't confront her. Instead, I started documenting everything. Quietly. Our finances, our house, the shared car, the dog's registration. I made copies, backups, and even opened a new account in a bank she didn't use. I wasn't planning a divorce yet. I was planning precision. Over the next 2 weeks, I played the doting husband. I made breakfast, left notes in her lunch, even booked us a weekend getaway. She looked surprised, unsure. Good. Let her wonder if I knew. Let her squirm. Because here's the thing about Mara. She thinks I'm just a blue-collar guy with a wrench in one hand and blind trust in the other. But I've rebuilt homes for clients going through divorces. I've seen people hide assets in remodeling costs, bury cash in garages, and lie with straight faces under court oaths. She didn't know she married someone who pays attention. I wasn't just going to confront her. I was going to unmake the fantasy she built. But the real twist? She thought she was playing me. She didn't know someone else was already playing her. And neither of them saw what was coming next. The morning I set the plan in motion, she was humming in the kitchen, making pancakes like everything was fine. Wearing the hoodie I gave her for our anniversary, the one she'd worn when she said she'd never betray me. I smiled and kissed her on the cheek, and she smiled back. Almost like she believed her own lie. It started small. I told her I'd picked up a side project in Longmont, something to cover Jasper's vet bills. I wasn't lying exactly. I did pick up a side job, but not in construction. I met a guy named Trevor years back when we remodeled his garage into a home office. Private investigator now. Veteran. Quiet. Blunt. Trustworthy. I called in a favor. I handed him every shred of digital trail I had. Emails, texts, timestamps, phone logs. I asked him to follow Dave. Just him. Not Mara. 2 days later, Trevor sent me the first video. It was Dave, pulling into a parking lot near Lakewood. A woman got out of his car. Not Mara. Some younger blonde. A waitress from a nearby diner, from the look of her uniform. They hugged. Kissed. He had another one. Trevor didn't stop there. Turns out Dave was juggling 3 women. Mara, the waitress, and a woman from his sober group he claimed to be co-facilitating. The man was running an emotional con disguised as recovery. And Mara? She wasn't just a victim. She was a volunteer. I confronted her that weekend. Not about the affair. About the investment. You remember that inheritance from your aunt? The one you've kept separate from our joint account. She blinked. What about it? I noticed a wire transfer. 45 grand. To an account with Dave's name on it. What was that for? She froze. Not denial. Not panic. Just a beat of silence. He needed help getting back on his feet. It's my money. That's fair. But just to be clear, was that before or after he started sleeping with the waitress from Heidi's diner? I've seen people hit by falling beams. I've seen glass shatter under pressure. I've never seen a person break internally like she did in that moment. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. Eyes wide, throat dry. He told me he loved me. Yeah. He told her the same thing. And the other one too. You're 1/3 of a harem of broken promises, Mara. You weren't his savior. You were a donor. Welcome to the club. She tried to cry. I didn't stop her. I wanted her to feel the ground crumbling. She asked what I was going to do. I told her, nothing. Yet, I left her there, sitting on the kitchen floor, tears streaking her face, Jasper hiding in the hallway from the tension. I drove to the mountains, sat on the tailgate of my truck, and let the cold air bite at my skin. This wasn't about heartbreak anymore. This was about restoration. A rebuild. Not of us, but of me. When I got home that night, I didn't say a word. I watched her cook dinner like a ghost, moving through the house with guilt hanging off her like wet clothes. That week, I went to a lawyer. I started filing the paperwork. Quietly, cleanly. But divorce wasn't the endgame. Revenge, for me, is never a fire. It's a freeze. I was going to let her watch everything she had slowly erode. Her security, her reputation, even the false pedestal she'd placed herself on. I would make sure everyone around her knew exactly who she really was, and who Dave really wasn't. But I still had one card left to play. Because what she didn't know was that Dave had already made a mistake. He used my wife's money to scam someone very dangerous. And that man, he reached out to me. The man's name was Lionel Vargas. If that sounds familiar, it's because he owns a chain of recovery clinics and a real estate company with a less than gentle approach to business. His brother was one of the clients I remodeled for years ago, back when I still worked solo. Real sharp guy. Had a reputation. The kind that doesn't need Yelp reviews. Turns out Dave had pitched Lionel a sober community center plan. Got a small investment from him. A clean 20 grand, and then vanished. Same story he spun to Mara, just with more ambition. I don't know how Lionel found out I was married to Mara, but one day, I got a call. Is this Ethan Blake? Yeah. You're Mara's husband? Was. Kind of in progress. Good. Then we might be able to help each other. He met me in a diner in Qley, wore a tan coat and gloves in May like some kind of mob lawyer. Didn't touch his food. Just slid a manila folder across the table. Photos. Screenshots. Wire transfers. One of them had Mara's signature on a lease agreement she co-signed with Dave for a business front that never opened. She's implicated, I said quietly. She's expendable, he replied. But you? You look like you've got more brains than she gave you credit for. I won't lie. I thought about walking away. I could have taken the divorce, wiped my hands, and rebuilt. But something inside me, it wasn't just anger. It was clarity. Mara thought I was too small-minded to see what was right in front of me. So I made a deal. I'd give Lionel everything I had on Dave. Every email, every cent Mara gave him, every document she stupidly attached her name to. In exchange, Lionel would make sure Mara wasn't legally targeted. She'd be left out of the fire, but she'd have to live in the smoke. And she did. Dave disappeared, again. But this time, not just from her life. From the state. Rumors went around that he got picked up by men in a gray truck outside a halfway house in Aurora. I never asked what happened. I never wanted to know. All I know is, Mara got a notice from her bank 2 weeks later. The investment accounts were frozen. Her name was flagged. The state started asking questions about misused funds and false applications. She came to me crying, panicked. Ethan, I don't understand what's happening. Yeah, I said. That's what happens when you trust the wrong people. You don't understand. I loved him. And I loved you. But you picked a fantasy over a foundation. Now you get to live with what you built. I handed her the divorce papers. No alimony. No settlement. No shared assets. Just her name, mine, and a dog who didn't go near her anymore. She signed. Eventually. With shaking hands. Today, I live in a cabin near Estes Park. I still remodel homes, but only the ones that feel like stories worth salvaging. Jasper's older, but still loyal. I sometimes think about Mara, not with anger, but with distance. Like remembering a place you used to live that got condemned. She tried to contact me once, through a mutual friend. Said she wanted to talk. I left her message on read. Some people deserve closure. Some people deserve to sit with the silence they created. I appreciate you watching till the end. Hit that subscribe button and stay tuned for more content.